So, good evening. Welcome back to another show. And tonight I'm John, and tonight I'm going to do a press conference reaction with the lovely, the talented Holly.
Hi, John. How are you?
I'm canny, not really bad. Just got finished work at 3 o'clock today. Had an easy week this week so far, which I think is great. And yeah, just tough in. So, how's things with you?
Yeah, it's all good. I'm quite busy at the moment, but
Yeah,
nice 3 points tomorrow would be good, although I can't see it.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be difficult at this moment in time against a fella team without Jackie G, so he'll not be playing tomorrow. So, just people think like that's great news, but at the end of the day, we still got problems scoring goals and we got problems creating stuff as well. But what can you do?
Not much, but I am pleased that Jack Grealish is unavailable because that'll help us out a lot.
Yeah, definitely. But we've got to do it for ourselves. So, guys, if you like the video, could you please stick a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, and also follow Holly Blade 05 on a Twitter account. So, right, go to the first one because it's going to be a short one today, unfortunately, because she's got another show to go usually at 8 o'clock. So, yeah, today's about injury news, just the same thing. No ASM, Callum, Miggy, Fabian, none of those as well. But Fernandez is pretty close. And what do you make of that?
Manquillo's back as well.
Yes, he's back and he's the sub, and he's so.
Yeah.
Are you happy him back?
Very, very glad. That means we can get Emil Kraft out the lineup. So I'm very happy about that. I mean, I'm not saying Manquillo's great, but he's a lot better than Kraft. So I'll be happy to see him back in. And it's unfortunate that we've still obviously got the injuries to the other players, but I don't think anyone was expecting them back. So it's just what you can predict.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And it's just hope we get the decent players coming, the decent players in the right positions. So I've got the first one today. I've got Kieran Kelly from the Chronicle. Bruce has been asked about Matty Longstaff. He said he's on the side, but let's not forget he's got a huge future. Really? Not according to Mr. Bruce, he hasn't. There's no question about that. He has a big rise last year and finds himself not in the team at the minute. So he's just got to stick with it. His time will come again, that's for sure. Oh my God. I mean, he's killing his career, Holly. He really is. Do you believe that?
Not at all. Like, it's really strange that he would say he's got a huge future here when he quite clearly hasn't. He's hardly played a game this season. And I think it's strange that he mentioned, like, I'm having a pay rise this season. I think that was an odd comment to make because, like, what's that got to do with him not being in the side? The fact that he's earning more money, it's just a strange thing to say.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, right, I mean, I think he must have been conned into signing a new 2-year deal. I mean, he goes sign a new deal, right? Then he goes after Jeff Hendrick, gets Hendrick, plays him, right? And the poor lad's just got to sit there, right? He's being told by Bruce, I bet he said, you're doing well, but you're home. You're staying home. You're benched, you know, and it's allowed this clown, Hendrick, to keep playing, and it hardly produces absolutely naught.
I know this is the thing. We've got so many poor midfielders playing, and Shelby as well. He's been bad, and yet Matty's not even getting a look in. I mean, he's not even on the bench most weeks. So I don't think he's got a future here if he can't even make it on the bench and can't get in the lineup ahead of Hendrick or Shelby. That's definitely not a future at Newcastle.
Definitely not. And thing is, I'd rather play with Rodrigo De Paul at Udinese rather than Jeff Hendrick, if I'm honest with you, you know what I mean? But he's missed the boat. For me personally, he should have gone, I've always said this, he should have gone to Udinese on a 5-year deal, right, and get the best development at the Dacia Stadium, right? And I think he would have loved Italian life. Is the culture's changed. I know people are saying to us and say that, oh, if you went to Italy, it's going to be a mistake going to Italy, sort of thing. But for me, I'm not saying that because I love Serie A, but I'm just saying that because the kid will be developed so well.
Yeah, I think we should have. Well, I didn't want to see him leave the club because I think that he's a talent and he could do good things for Newcastle. But I think we should have sent him on loan this season if we had no intention of playing him, so he could get a bit of progression. But it was kind of pointless signing him on a 1-year deal. If you wanted to loan him out, then we should have signed him on a long-term deal. So I don't understand how the club work. I just think they've messed him about.
absolutely ridiculous. So ridiculous. But yeah, that's Matty Longstaff. He was asked today about the game against West Brom. I don't know what they're bringing them up for. Because he's asked at the West Brom game again. He's basically said that he had some good chances, but he'd be happy for a point at the end of the day. He said that it's not a must-win game. He also said the same thing today. And is this manager lacking confidence in himself?
Yeah, I mean, he's got to be after all the results. It's just like, how could he remain confident? But it's a shock because we all know that he's quite cocky, but he's got to be losing confidence now as the weeks go by and we're not picking up the points. And surely that he's starting to worry a bit now, even though he might not see it, that we are going to end up in trouble. I don't believe that he's still as confident as he says he is.
I totally agree with you, that sort of thing. I mean, I think he's done anyway for me. If he loses this game tomorrow or the Brighton game, he's going to be in huge, huge trouble. And for me, I think he's got to be done. There's nowhere back for this guy. But yeah, I mean, just going to go on this one as well. Bruce, according to NFC 360 for The Guardian, right? So, I mean, on one newspaper, he said that how do I put it? He said that he's taking the blame. According to the Chronicle, he said that he showed us the blame for Newcastle's disaster season so far. That's from the Chronicle. But as you can see on the other newspaper, The Guardian, he's blaming the club's coronavirus outbreak for Newcastle's. Yeah. I can't believe that. I mean, before we answer that question, Reed, I'm going to go into the comments quickly. He said, "Hi, mate. Keeping it tuned. Even John, hopefully well. I'm regular, just changed my name to start my own YouTube channel. My first video updated soon. Let us know. I'll come and join in as well. Here, John, hope you are good. Ollie said, even John Holly, hope you as well. But sticking in feeling starting to set in. No one to give him to our need. Huge game. Next two would define our season. I'd have to agree with you, mate. Totally agree. Even John, even Holly. Ryan said, evening, John. Poor, this is taller idiot. The range. Yes, he is. Lee, Steve Bruce reckons fella's gone on to do wonders since he's left. Concentrate on our team, Steve. Paul, John, he will still be around. Well, I'll tell you what, if he's around we are doing, Ryan, I'll be confident if I was Bruce, he clearly doesn't give an F what's happening. And James, not the James singer, even John, you can see Holly, hope he's seen much of John Litton lately. Is he in your wardrobe? But going back to the question there, Holly, I'll go for it again. On one paper, he said that he's shouldered the blame, and on The Guardian, he's blaming the coronavirus. Oh, man. Holly, I don't know what to say. Holly, talk to us, man.
Well, obviously, there's two different stories being reported, so you don't know which one's true and which one is false. I would assume that The Guardian's the one that's more true because I can't see Steve Bruce accepting the blame. It seems a bit out of character for him. And also the fact that the Chronicle's a local newspaper could potentially have had like a story from the club telling them to kind of say that maybe or something like that, you know. And I think the Guardian personally is more reliable than the Chronicle. But if he has blamed the coronavirus breakout, that's not a surprise, but it's embarrassing yet again because practically half of the Premier League clubs have had problems with coronavirus, if not them all. Like, all of them's been affected by it. It's not something that's just caused Newcastle problems. It's literally affected everybody. Like, we've all had games rescheduled and players out and stuff like that. And of course it had an impact on us because we lost a lot of players like St. Maximan and Hayden was quite poorly, and there was a few players that were unwell, but it's the same for everyone, so it's not like something you can rely on. And also, that was a while ago now. We've moved on from it since, and we're still not doing well. So how can you use that excuse? It's clearly nothing to do with the coronavirus that we're not playing well at the moment when there is no coronavirus. It's just rubbish and embarrassing stories yet again from Bruce, if that's what he said.
I think he's a disgrace. I mean, I've not been followed, but here it's the word I use, but I despise this manager. I really, really, really do, because I don't hear Chris Wilder making excuses. I don't hear Sam Allardyce making excuses, so I try to. I don't ever hear Scott Parker or Graham Potter make excuses at all whatsoever to get on with it, get on job in hand. That is it. But this manager, I've got to have to change his name to Steve Excuse for now on because he's full excuses, and I'm sick of this guy. I'm sick of this guy. Oh, I'm sounding like Lee Gunner now, am I? But yeah, go through the comments quickly. Thomas, even if you want, Geordie, even John Holly. Geordie Bruce blames everyone and everyone but himself. I totally agree. Ryan, well, is work in progress. How about trusting the? He keeps on saying trust the process. Yeah. How about rust the regress? That's what I got to see on that. Jules, stop Preston John Linton. They need to be a run.
I can't hear anything. Like, I can see you talking, but I can't hear anything.
Can you not hang on to that, dude? Is that better?
I still can't hear anything.
Can you not?
I'll come back in to see if it makes a difference, okay?
Come back in? Say again. Go for it. Let's go through this comments quickly. Bruce is just a joke. No, Shaq Thomas, you're right. Paul's just smiling. Lee, to stop blaming the bloody person if you lose some Arnie's. He must have just blamed the tea lady, to be fair. Thomas said, we see that every day. And Ryan, I'm actually starting to like Bruce. I hope you don't. Just kidding. Yeah, she's Holly's just gonna come back in a minute. She's kind of here now. I'm gonna get him in now. Holly.
Hi, I can hear now.
Yay! Come on, babe.
I don't know what was happening. Just the audio went for some reason.
Wow, I don't know what it is. It has its moments, doesn't it? Audios and that, I got me. This is my new Apple Mac. I've got I had it for a couple of months now, just after Christmas, and I'm absolutely loving it. It's coming really fantastic, and so it's all good. So yeah, but you're right. I mean, it's getting ridiculous now. The guy's a joke, and he is an absolute muppet. Dean Smith has had this interview a couple of hours ago, and we talked about Jackie G. He's not playing tomorrow. He's still out. So what do you make of that? Are you glad?
I'm relieved that Jack Grealish isn't playing because we all know how much I rate Jack Grealish. I think he's an excellent player and he's certainly the standout man for Aston Villa. So when he's not playing, that's a massive disadvantage for them, which can only be an advantage for us. And I'm really happy that he's not playing, but I'm still lacking the confidence that we'll manage to, just because we don't have anyone that can score. If we had Callum Wilson in, then I think we might have won this game since Jack Grealish is out. But unfortunately, I still don't see us winning. But hopefully now that he's out, we won't get beat by lots of goals at least and get embarrassed.
Yeah, we totally agree there. So Game said hi, by the way, Ryan. Got to be open-minded, man. Hello, sorry for being late. That's absolutely fine. If you miss any of it, sort of thing, you can always go back on the rerun sort of thing. It's always there. Jules said, Bruce on the way out of his death and will do better as a spitting image style. I agree with you. I mean, Jules. Yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, on Jack Grealish for me, I spoke to a fellow fan yesterday asking him, will he be the player of the season? And he doesn't think so. But I tell you what, he'd be very, very close because this guy, he's been absolutely fantastic our season when he plays. And he'd definitely be going to the Euros, no question about it, in my opinion, if he's fit. And would you take him to the Euros?
100%. I think he's one of England's best up-and-coming talents. And we'd be crazy not to have him in the team because he's really, really talented. He can do well for England. I think Gareth Southgate's been quite harsh on him. He hasn't been consistently playing him when I think he's been better than some players that he's been playing instead of him. So I would love to see him get more game time in the Euros because he's a great player.
Yeah, I think he's fantastic. I do like him. I've always liked Jack Grealish. He's such a skillful player, and I do love skillful players as well. But like you said, I'm just glad he's not going to be playing. So on to the next bit. Steve Bruce about taking points. He said we have to try and take as much points as we can. We have to be prepared to go to the wire, the relegation battle. So
yeah, well, probably will go to the last game, but it's worrying that. Did you say it was Steve Bruce that said that?
Yeah.
That is really worrying that Steve Bruce is actually thinking like that now, because we still do have a chance to pick up points, obviously, if we came into good form and be safe before then. But clearly Bruce isn't expecting us to do anything good anytime soon, and he's thinking it's going to go to the last game of the season kind of thing, which is very, very worrying when your manager has that little confidence.
I'll tell you what it is, right? I mean, we as Newcastle fans are fantastic, okay? And this manager has come out, he says we're going to be in the top 10. Then he said our target survival, right, stay in the Premier League. And now he's come out and say statements like that. You don't hear Scott Parker come out and say that, because I don't.
No, not at all. And even like under the likes of McLaren and Pardew and kind of those managers that were in and around that season when we got relegated, and obviously I know Rafa Benitez was there in the end, but there was a few managers in that season, and none of them even said that kind of thing. Like, we all knew that we were in a dangerous position, but they never kind of openly came out, well, as far as I can remember anyway, and kind of said that, yeah, it'll go down to the wire, it'll go down to the last game of the season, because that's just already putting a negative spin on everything, and it doesn't help in times like this when everything's so negative to start with.
Yeah. Crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. I got no faith in that. I mean, he doesn't want to be at Newcastle. Let's be real about it. But got Lisa. What happened to the last night stream for the Villa fan? It's out there. It was in for nearly 40 minutes. And Lisa hit the like subscribe button. Thanks so much indeed. Jules says, Ryan, Steve Bruce will be over the moon as long as the team get a point. We need a win. More likes. Just prepare to take it up for that. I won't say the rest of that, Ryan. Bruce and Ashley is bending the club over and forces us to take it. Yeah, he's right. And there he is. Well, you know, will be the two ladies' fault if you fell to be fell out to my knees. I tell you that now. And then I've got keeping it tuned, just like McLaren, just after 6 game, just after 10, just over halfway through that season, kept on adding games to judging. Yeah, he's in. Steve McLaren's another manager for me. Wasn't suited for Newcastle, unfortunately. He was not suited at all whatsoever. He got sacked this time back in 2016, yeah. Steve Bruce is still in the job, Holly. I mean, why? Why is Ashley cannot see the danger of sacking this guy?
I think he can see it. I refuse to believe that he can't, because he must literally be one of the most stupid people in the world if he can't see that, because even someone that knows nothing about football can look at that league table and see that Newcastle's in trouble. But I just think he doesn't care anymore. I just think the fact that he couldn't make his money last summer and he couldn't get rid of the club when he wanted to has just put a massive dampener on him, and he's past caring now, and he just doesn't want to have anything to do with the club anymore. That's how I think Mike Ashley feels.
I think he needs to walk then. I mean, the thing is, though, he's not going to walk because he wants his £4 million first before he walks away. And he's putting health first before money. But, Holly, if the fans in the stadium, he'd be gone long ago.
100% he would have. The pressure of the fans would have gotten to him straight away, but he's been very, very lucky. I think he's one of the luckiest managers alive, because everything seemed to have went his way. I mean, last season, I truly believe that we only finished 13th like we did because of luck, because we got so many results that season that we really shouldn't have gotten. Just the other team happened to be a lot poorer, because I never thought we played well last season. And then we had COVID, and obviously there was no fans there to hound Bruce out. So that saved his job. And I just think he's so lucky, and he doesn't even realise it.
Very, very true. And for me, I mean, the job's out of his depth anyway. It's too big for him. Absolutely too big for him at all as well. So, hey, got Lisa just during the stream. Right, it didn't work because he dropped out sort of thing, yeah. But look, I got a replacement. I tried to delete that anyway. He wouldn't let us do it. Thomas is actually Uncle Kano. What? Steve said, I'm not a destroyer. I'm a relegation master. That's how he Bruce, listen, man, I respect your ambition, blah, blah, blah. He has to pay the £12 million to get rid of him from what I've seen. 12 million, get rid of Bruce? I doubt it. I doubt it.
Not.
12 million. But talking about that, Holly, I'll make it quick on this one, right? I mean, £46.5 million to prize Joe Linton and Bruce to come to the club. That's a hell of a lot of money for us. Where's the money?
It is. We never ever spend money across the whole of the Ashley era, which has been like 14 years. We haven't spent hardly a penny. And then that summer we seemed to go a bit wild, and like we signed St Maximin as well, who was like 20 something million. I can't remember exactly. And he was a big fee. And then we paid a lot for Bruce, which was worst mistake ever. Paid the 40 odd million for Joe Linton. And all that money we spent for the first time in Mike Ashley's era, and it was all completely wasted. It was so strange. That summer, it was really, really, really bizarre. And I feel like it was kind of to get back at Benitez, because I know it sounds petty, but that's the way Mike Ashley is. I feel like he just spent that money just to kind of say, oh, stuff you, Rafa, you didn't take the job, and look what we're doing now. We're spending loads of money. Like, it is pathetic from Ashley, but that's the way he's always been. He's just a very petty guy.
Tit for tattle, that's all it is. Tit for tattle. They're putting two things sort of Rafa, and I said this before. They're saying, you know, you're right there. You took the words out of me, God. Do you know what I mean? But well said. You're absolutely right. And just go through this messages again. You're not on your own. And lucky, like Bruce, Steve said, John, get your kettle on. Steve's in my contract. There's Ashley Sachs. He owns this 30 million compensation. Yeah. And yes, there's 12 million to get rid of Bruce. 12 million to get rid of Bruce. Is that right, David? I mean, I don't know where you got that from, mate, but I have not seen that at all. But for as far as I'm concerned, it's 4 million. That's to get rid of the coaches as well on top. So I don't know where you got that figure from, mate. So I'm not going to disbelieve you. There's my guy there, Rafa Benitez, in the middle, right? You know, that manager, right, will not come out and say negative things. That manager will stand up to Ashley and his cronies. That manager will put out a team not to get beat. And that manager will go out and win games.
100%. I wish we could go back to 5 years ago today when he was joining us. It was a really magical time at the club. It felt like we were in a bad position. We were in the position we are now. We were about to get relegated. But when Rafa Benitez came in, it just filled us with a bit of hope. And we thought, you know, everything will be okay. And for the first time in a long time, we just had that belief that things would get all sorted out and we would go on to do good things. When Rafa Benitez came, I feel like we all thought, wow, we're so lucky to have him here and we're going to go on to challenge in the top half of the table, which we did do in the first season we came back. But then we all knew the writing was on the wall when Mike Ashley didn't financially back him, gave him hardly any money, and then he couldn't invest in the right squad and get his players in that he wanted, and we didn't do as well as we wanted to, but he still did a fantastic job. And unfortunately he left because of the way he was treated by Mike Ashley, and still to this day I think that's the worst decision Mike Ashley's ever made, and he's made a lot getting rid of Rafa Benitez, and it was also the best bringing him in. But whatever Rafa Benitez wanted, he should have gave him it because he deserved it, and he had the respect of everyone in St James's Park, that's for sure.
Well said. From top to bottom, and I tell you what, he commands respect, not just for the players but the fans as well. We just love the guy, and always been treated. I'm sorry, but they just don't seem to care. And Jules said it went from magical to hellfire and brimstone burning forever under Bruce, and he's absolutely right. Just a comment to this one, right? I don't know if you heard this, right? He's asked a question that I think it's Simon Bird from the Daily Mirror, because he did say Simon. He was asked about his future at the club. Will he be right away? And he said to the press, he said, you have to ask Mike Ashley that question, because at the end of the day, you have to ask him above that. Well, he's invited Ashley to do something, back him, sack me, blah, blah, blah. But I tell you something, right? For me, I'll get a lot of people as well saying that he's going to get a bit of 3-4, 5-0 beatings off Villa or Brighton before he gets a sack. So, yeah, is he just fighting talk from the guy?
I don't think that even if we got beat 3-0 off Villa, 5-0 off Brighton, I don't think that would be enough to get rid of him, honestly. I don't. I think he'd still be here. It's getting ridiculous now, to the point where I think we could get beat 20-0 every game and I'd still not be surprised if he was still here. That's the ridiculousness of it now. He should have went a long time ago. He's very, very lucky to still be here, and it's getting embarrassing that he's still here now. And it's down to Mike Ashley. Well, we know he's not going to go then because Mike Ashley won't sack him. That's the end of that story.
Nah, unfortunately, he just doesn't care. He's just quite happy to see the club get relegated. What's he going to do next? Give Bruce a new 3-year deal for failure? You know, success for the price of failure sort of thing. We ain't going to have a team in the summer. No one ain't gonna come to Newcastle under Steve Bruce. Look at the teams in the Championship, right? You got Barnsley as well. They got like a foreign manager. I can't remember his name, but he's doing good things with Barnsley. Nearly got relegated. Beat Brentford last season to stay up, yeah. And look what they're doing. I think they won 6 games straight. They drew last night. I mean, as players, managers like him bringing new ideas and they steal the players. Steve Bruce can't do that.
He can't. You see so many managers in the Premier League that are younger managers, and often they're managing teams that on paper should be worse than Newcastle because they haven't had as much investment and their squad is probably poorer, but they're doing better jobs because they're motivated, they've got the right mentality, and they're just trying to do the best that they can for their club, and everybody's in it together. They're all working towards the same vision. Whereas at our club, there's no unity. Everyone's arguing and wanting different things from the club. Steve Bruce is happy to I don't think he cares about anything. I think he'd be happy to go to the Championship as long as he kept his job. I don't think he cares. The players are a mix. Some of them don't care. Some of them want to stay up. And it's just very, obviously we've got this leak in the training ground and Graham Jones doesn't get on with Steve Bruce. It's just nobody's working together. So it's all a mess on and off the pitch.
Well said, Holly. Well said. But then you got Charlie sitting there doing out. You got Ashley doing out about it. The club is an absolute, complete and utter shambles. And I can't say any more than that because it is a shambles, you know. I've got Steve Bruce getting Penfold told me Ashley's going to give me a 10-year deal because of the wonderful job that I'm doing at the club. I can laugh. I'm the greatest. No, Muhammad Ali's the greatest. Jules said, Bruce has an excuse, Rafa the gaffer. And Steve said, the mole is Mo Linton.
Imagine if it was Joe Linton that was the person leaking information. That would be hilarious.
I know. I mean, build a statue for the guy if it's him as the mole. But listen to Liam Kennedy on Steve show on Tuesday. And basically, he probably had names given to him, but he's not going to disclose who it is. But look, it needs to be sorted out, and it needs to be sorted out ASAP. David said, apparently, it's in talks. Steve Bruce then is deal with Lee Chandley. Once this, then his deal. I tell you what, if he signs a new deal, I'm done at the club. I'm done. I'm finished at the club. I'm telling you.
Surely that's got to be a joke. I don't believe that. Like, nobody can be that stupid to give Steve Bruce a new deal. If they do, then we're not called Newcastle United anymore. We're just called Joke FC.
Yeah, we are. Absolutely. We are Joke FC. We're just Shambles FC. Shambles FC for me. But you were brilliant on Monday on the show, by the way. You, Kendall, and Sam as well, and Alicia as well. And you all fantastic. I mean, Kendall's a star. I'd love to get Kendall on, be sure. And she'd be absolutely amazing. You know what I mean? But yeah. So just a quickie there, sort of things. You know, you got to get prepared for the poor show, and I respect that. Who do you think he's going to pick? What formation he's going to play, and what do you think score's going to be?
I think he'll probably stick with a 4-3-3 kind of formation. I'd like to think Manquillo starting right back. At centre back, I think he'll probably go with Lascelles and Clark maybe, and then Dummett at left back, which I'll be happy to see because I think he did a good job at left back. And then in midfield, I think he'll probably go like Shelvey, Willock, and probably like, I don't even know, maybe Hendrick. He'll probably put Hendrick in, we all know. And then up top, I think he'll probably have Ryan Fraser, Joe Linton, and I don't know who's on the left.
Yeah, this is it. I've been Murphy for the game like that.
I would, but I don't think that Bruce will, so I don't actually know who will play. Who was playing on the left last week?
So, I mean, we had Joe Willock as a 10, as Faisal and Joe Linton at the top.
Oh, yeah, he did something totally bizarre. That was a load of rubbish.
Hendrick, and as Hendrick, Shelvey, and Hayden.
I'd like to see him play two up top with maybe like Andy Carroll and Dwight Gale, because I think that would be quite good. But Bruce will just play some utter rubbish, to be honest. Like, he just will. We all know it. He'll put in crap players and have better ones on the bench because that's just what he does. And I don't think the likes of Elliot Anderson and some of the youngsters will get a look in, but I really want to see them given a chance.
I don't think Anderson and Matty will play again under Beast. I just cannot see it. No way. He won't. He picks favourites like Henrik. Someone is going to hack the fans off yet again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. 100%.
Hack them up, as always. And I just think it's disgraceful. And then he goes, I was doing Jeff Hendrick and McCraft because they're world-class players getting any team. 9-0-1.
About right.
Benitez, bring me back. I think he needs someone.
I would, Rafa.
Yeah, definitely. At you 16, yeah, you're right, Bruce. Hey, but I tell you what, though. I mean, joking aside, I think for me, I say the back and goal, I'll play Manfredo, Dummett, Clark and Lascelles. And do you know what? I'll stick with 4-3. He's going to stick a 4-3 anyway, so it's going to have to be Matty Longstaff, Hayden, Shelby, Willock as a 10. I think he's going to play out and up front. I'd have to agree with you, Carroll and Gale. I mean, Ryan Fraser. I mean, I'm going to talk about Ryan Fraser quick. He come out and he said that, you know, when Steve Bruce has come out and said that it's not a must-win game. Ryan Fraser came out yesterday, said it's a must-win game. Yeah, when you get a player come out and say that, and your manager don't say that, something's wrong with the club, you know.
It is. Well, we all know that the players and Bruce aren't on the same page anymore. They're not getting along as well as they have in the past. And they're right, though. Ryan Fraser's right. It is a must-win game, but Aston Villa, I don't think will win that, and I'll be happy to take a point from it. I know that we need 3 points, but if we got a point, then that would do for me.
Yeah, I mean, you got to say that as well. If it's a point, so be it. But like I said, we're not scoring goals, we're not winning games, and we don't create enough. That's the thing. That's the thing. You never scored 3 goals since the Southampton result there. Do you know what I mean? I can't remember the last time we scored 2.
Neither can I, actually. Wait, was it not the opening game of the season against West Ham?
Yeah, we won 2-0 there. We beat Everton 2-0. Then we beat 3-2. We won 3-2 against Southampton.
Oh, yeah. Well, Southampton was probably the last time we scored like more than 1 goal, as far as I can remember.
And but it's just not creating enough. You look at the midfield 3. I mean, Shelby, on his day, he's canny, but he just hasn't really done it. He just have like 1 good game in every 5. I don't want that. I want to see 5 good wins for good games. Whatever, you know what I mean? And then have a 1 bad one, whatever it may be. You can have a 1 or 2 bad games, but you cannot afford to have 5 bad games and 1 good game. Not win the relegation dogfight, no way.
But he can't. But I was always a fan of John Joe Shelby, but now I really just want him out of the club. I just think that he's done now. His time's finished here and we need to move him on, because I can see things turning a little bit nasty if he doesn't move on. I feel like he's going to start having digs at the fans and stuff. That's just the way I feel it's going to go, and I don't want to go through that with Shelby because he's been here a long time and I did used to be a fan of his, so I want him to move on, to be honest.
I'll do as well. I mean, we need, if we start the season, we need a complete midfield, complete brand new midfield. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see Shelby again. Well, he needs to be moved on. I mean, Hayden, I'm not being fond of Hayden. I like Hayden, but he's having against lesser teams, but against top teams, I just don't think he's good enough for against the top teams. And a lot of people have not been said that, but I've noticed he just doesn't call it against top teams, and he's been found out. So Joe Willock, I'll keep him. I definitely keep Joe Willock. I'll keep him another season as possible as well, because I think he'll do bits. And not on Steve Booster, by Butchers AFC. I left China. I am back. So there you go. Listen, Alwyn. So I was going to say, you take a point there. So you take a one each draw.
I'd take anything. I'd take a scrappy 0-0, anything, just as long as we don't get beat. Like, it's just desperate at this stage. Just anything we can get to help us stay up. Any points, any goals, anything, I'll take it.
Sure. You're right. But we have to see what happens. For me, we're going to get beat by 2-0. That's my opinion. I'm sorry. But I've got the nails each draw, right? against West Brom. I've said that, and I got that one right. And yeah, let's hope. All we need to do is just give it a right go. Just make chances, create chances, have a go at these. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, they're a good team, but the midfield's going to be key because they got John McGinn, they got Ross Bartley, and obviously Jackie G's going to be out tomorrow. So I was sure to get someone in as well. But I do like Trezeguet as well. And Ollie Watkins as well, my guy. Ollie Watkins, I do like him. I think he's a class at. I'm really confused about him. I mean, if we can stop him tomorrow, then who knows, he might have a chance. But if we let him go, then we're going to have problems against this guy.
Yeah, I think Aston Villa's got an excellent squad. I really like Tyrone Mings as well. I think they've got brilliant players, to be honest, and I don't know how they didn't do so well last season because then they had good players. So, yeah, they've certainly got better talent than we have. Jack Grealish is obviously their standout player, which can help us, but I still don't see us winning because we literally can't score goals. I think we'll get beat 1-0. That's what I'll predict. I'm not going to be too negative. But if we can get a 0-0 or a 1-1 or anything, then that'll be very good for me.
Yeah, I'll say 2-0. And Steve said, how's Ollie Watkins your guy, John? Listen, Ollie Watkins is a quality player. I'm a massive fan of Ollie. That guy should be playing for England as a backup. You know what I mean? I've taken to the Euros as well. So last message there, I'm back. I'm looking to bring in Tammy, the next Alan Shearer, Tammy Abraham. He ain't half having a good time at Chelsea, unlike Bruce, the loose signing Joe Linton. But I can't see coming to Newcastle anyway, Tammy. I just cannot see it. But still, listen, Holly, thanks for coming on. And we did say 30 minutes, didn't we? But it's 36 minutes.
It's all right. It's still only it's not 7 o'clock yet, so I've got plenty of time to go on Paul's show.
Sure, fantastic. And I'll let you get prepared for that. And I just missed a message there. Thomas Bruce, Shelby, Hendrick, and Kraft can go, in my opinion. Yeah, I agree with that as well. But yeah, listen, I hope you have a fantastic time with Paul and show Paul look after yous. And you got any more channels this weekend?
I'm doing the watch along with Steve Wraith on Friday, and then I'll probably be on the fan reaction on NFTV. And Sunday, I'm pretty sure you're on, aren't you? Aren't you on Kev's show with me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing that on Sunday, but nothing on Saturday. So yeah, I've got quite a few shows coming up.
Sure. He thinks I'm a legend.
It must be the Joe Linton fandom. We can get Kev involved now. He can be a Joe Linton fan too. We'll get a Joe Linton squad.
Yay! If he scores a hat-trick, now I can tell you something now. If he scores a hat-trick, then I'm going to keep it on for the end of the season. He's got to score a hat-trick first, and then I've got to keep that on the end of the season. He won't score a hat-trick. There's no way.
Not in life.
Nah, not here at this club. No way. If he does, then that'll be breaking news. I put on breaking news. Breaking news. Joe Linton has scored a hat-trick. Yay!
There's more chance of Bruce being sacked in the next 5 minutes than Joe Linton scoring a hat-trick in the next 3 years.
Exactly. He's hopeless, isn't he? Honestly, 1 goal this season, 3 goals in what? 28 games? All like, yeah, 28 games? Nah, it's not good enough.
Probably more than that, hasn't it?
No, 60-odd games. So it's 28. So he's got 11 games to go. 27, 65 games. 65 league games, 3 goals. And then people having go at us to say that was slagging him off. No, I'm not. I just don't think he's good enough for Newcastle. Listen, he does his best, but he is not for me. Definitely not. Listen, we said it. It's mentioned Joe Linton. We're going to end up that. And listen, I'll definitely see you on Sunday. And if there's any breaking news, blah, 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 if he gets sacked, you'll be the first one on, be sure.
I'll be glad to come on if he gets sacked, but I think we'll still be waiting at least a year before he leaves the club.
Oh God, not a year, please don't. But you're right. I don't think he's gonna go, but I would love to see it happen. But positive on all your lads. And listen, you have a good evening and get yourself prepared for Paul. And I could chat to you till 12 o'clock in the morning, Nina. But I am going to do a late show one day. I said if there's a takeover, I was going to do a 10 till 2 show or 12 and 94 in the morning show. I'll probably get some overseas people as well, I guess. So from Australia, Canada, New Zealand.
Aye, it'll be good, but I don't think it'll happen, but it'll be brilliant. Imagine this summer, right? If lockdown ended, the Euros were on, we were back to the football, and a takeover happened. I would be in my absolute element, to be honest. That would be the best summer in history.
Yes, absolutely. And I'll tell you what, it should be one hell of a party. And you know what? We are all invited.
Yeah.
And I might get your guy John in as well.
Get him on the show to celebrate the takeover.
I will, definitely. I'll have to get a cardboard one, though. Go on. You have a good evening, babe. And I'll speak to you soon.
Okay, have a good night. Bye.
You too. Bye. Take care. Ta-ra. That's Holly again, and thanks so much for coming on. She's lovely, isn't she? Listen, I'm going to get myself away as well, and listen, I've got to do the watch along tomorrow night. Join us for that, 7:20. Paul's going to come and join us as well, and I'm going to do the match review as well after the game as well. So with Kev. So guys, thanks for coming on, and have a great evening. And I'm going to get myself away, and have a good night to Tom as well, David as well. You just watch the Bang and Happy tomorrow. Well, I can't see it happening. If he does, I shall have a party. But listen, guys, have a great evening, guys, and see if I watch along tomorrow. See you later. Ta-ra.